Hello, welcome to Poetry Changes Lives, my book of poetry, history, and a thought for the day, all in one book. And it's in one book because poetry and history are intertwined. They always have been, ever since the time when, in prehistoric days, the tribe recorded its own history in poems because that was the easiest way to remember things before writing was invented. Poetry is older than writing, older than history. Well, on this day, we're going to France because in 1802, on this day, the wonderful, famous national treasure, national hero, Victor Marie Hugo was born. He's still a national hero. His father was an officer in the French army, and that was interesting times. Napoleon, of course, was in power. The Battle of Waterloo took place when Victor Hugo was 13 years old. That put paid to Napoleon, of course, but France carried on regardless, and Victor Hugo became famous in later years. After he married, his family was beset by a number of tragedies, especially the death of his daughter, who drowned in a boating accident at quite a young age, just 20 years old. It devastated Victor Hugo. He never really got over it. Wrote a lot of poems about it, and the one I'm going to read is particularly sad, I think, but very sincere. It's called In French, it's called Demain dès l'aube, which means tomorrow at dawn. And this is just a translation, of course, but I find it still very moving. Here we are. Tomorrow at dawn, the moment daylight touches the land, I will leave. You see, I know that you wait for me. I will go through forest. I will go across the mountains. I cannot rest far from you for long. I will trudge on, my eyes fixed on my thoughts, without seeing outside of myself, without hearing any sound, alone, unknown, back bent, hands crossed. Sad, and the day for me will be like the night. I will not look upon the golden sunset as night falls, nor the sailboats from afar that descend upon Harfleur. And when I arrive, I will place on your grave a bouquet of green holly and heather in bloom. A very sad but poem from the heart about a father's grief for a daughter. Well, Victor Hugo became a national treasure during his lifetime to the extent that in Paris, the avenue that he lived in off the Étoile, the Arc de Triomphe, that had been called the Avenue des Leux, was renamed while he was still living there, Avenue Victor Hugo. And thenceforth, any letters to him were simply addressed to Monsieur Victor Hugo at his Avenue, Paris, which is a very cool address to have. Not unlike the Duke of Wellington's address, of course, the victor of the Battle of Waterloo, who lived just off Hyde Park at the end of Piccadilly. And his address was said to be number 1 London, which is a pretty cool address, perhaps even cooler. Gosh, well, it would be a poor French town even today that does not have a street named after Victor Hugo. I don't know of any towns that don't have one. When Victor Hugo died, 2 million people in Paris joined his funeral procession from Avenue Victor Hugo past the Arc de Triomphe and down to the Panthéon. Puts one in mind of Winston Churchill's funeral in London in 1965, I think, when millions turned out in London to watch the procession. Well, today I reflect on the ability to love and the ability to feel love and also to feel grief like poor Victor Hugo. Spare a thought for him today. Thanks for listening.